In this tutorial, we're going to talk about preferences in school lunch. The preference window is separated by tabs across the top for the different areas that we're going to talk about today. The General tab is where we set up information that is of a general nature to the program. Tracks was originally implemented in the days of year-round school to group students in a special group where we could either turn them on or turn them off depending on if they were on or off track. Since that time, we've implemented tracks to work with our multi-school system, and that's how we have this set up today. For a multi-school, you would activate the fields for how many schools you have, up to 6, and enter the names of the school in the fields here. Now, in the account manager, you will assign each student to one of these tracks, and that's how we get some of the separation in reports. The status code is kind of a sneaky way of getting around the free and reduced issue. Some schools have requested that they still be able to identify without overtly showing if a child is free and reduced. So for those who want to use this, you activate the status code by checking this box, and then you can put some kind of number or something that might be less identifiable for each of the meal rate categories, and that code will show in the lunchroom as a card is scanned. Now, in this example, the identifying digit is the first digit of the number, and you can see that each one of those is different, and it allows the operator to be able to identify what a child might be when making decisions on certain transactions that might go on in the lunchroom. But for the most part, schools don't use this. Other preference features allow you to charge a second meal at an adult rate or a second milk at an adult rate. There's a make change section in the lunchroom window that allows you to take money, and you can either keep all the money given to you or make change and just charge for that day's transaction. The show notes at the lunch line, when this is selected, anything that you enter in the notes section in the account manager will show in the lunch line, which might help you alert the operator of allergies, or a parent may not want to allow their student to have a la carte or share their lunch money with others. Those kind of messages would show. If you'd like pictures that you've assigned to an account to show, we check this box. Now, if you have family accounts set up and you want student transactions to come out of a family balance, you simply have the box use family balance checked. Over the years, some schools have wanted 2 master report pages to print. Now, that's the first page of the meal report, which has all the statistical information, and that way they could keep one for record and file one at a different location. We implemented that as a result of a user's request. Also in the lunchroom, if you want balances to show when a child's card is scanned, you can either show all balances, just negative balances, or don't show any. But even with the show none option selected, you can force show a balance by checking the show balance button at the lunchroom. The meal flag is a flag that will notify kids when they go through the lunch line that their account is low. And usually when schools start out during the year, they may not have collected any money from kids, so they may set this at a negative number to allow students to charge their account without continual notification for every student. The print history quantity, when looking at a history over the course of a year, you've got quite a long history. And if you want to email or send the history home to a parent to show them what has gone on, you can limit that to just come up with a number that you enter here. Now, this kind of has gone by the wayside a little bit with the introduction of the web account viewer, which allows parents to check all this information on the web. Deposit student money in a family account when an account exists. If a child brings money to school, they can, if they use a deposit slip or give the operator their number as they're making deposits, however they're going to do that, they don't have to remember their family account number. If they use their number, the money will go into a family account if you're set up that way. And then some schools are using smaller screen notebook options, and so some of the larger screens we have reduced into a small screen option, but we've left them large when that's suitable for the user. The next tab is where we enter the meal rates. Now we have a column for lunch, breakfast, milk, and snack, and we have these different categories: free, reduced, reduced to. Some states have requested that their state wants to subsidize reduced students to a different level. The pay 1 is your full price Class A lunch, as well as pay 2 and pay 3. This works well in a K-12 setting where your lower grades may eat at a lower cost because they're consuming less food than your high school and middle school students. And then adults and a guest child or a guest adult can all have separate prices. In the a la carte section, you have up to 26 items, each representing a letter of the alphabet. You put in a description in the larger field with a dollar amount, no dollar signs, in the small field for the price. And on any of these, if you've made a mistake and don't want to go through each one to clear it out, simply hit the reset button. It'll clear them out and you can start over and start entering those from scratch. Now, the teacher list is a way to group students by teacher. So like in an elementary school or even in the upper grades, you can find where a student is easily by checking their teacher in case there's a card. It's just a way of grouping kids for reports. The special tab, all we have here right now is an interface for pay schools. This interfaces with their system to receive the deposits for the day, and it also allows you to post the outbound activity for the transactions for the day to their website for schools that are using pay schools. However, with the web account viewer, this has eliminated the outbound because our web account viewer actually has a lot of information to give to parents. The messages can be printed and sent home to parents. Nowadays, that's pretty much done through email, but this is an example of a message that was printed through to a page that could be separated, and that's another reason to use teachers. Those can be grouped and handed out in homerooms. And this is the section where you would set up your email information. All this would need to be set up by your email administrator for your user and server name and password and port, and whether you're using secure or not. And then there are two different message styles that you can put in. The first one will include account balance information, and the second one will not include account balance information, depending on what kind of message you want to go home. But when you're sending out a bulk email, and these can be sent out however you would like to pull them up. They could be sent to the entire school, to kids with negative balances. There's a variety of ways to generate the list to send out email message. These can be changed around as needed, but there are the two options, one with balances and one without. That about wraps it up for the preferences of school lunch. You can always refer to the manual for extra help in this area. Thank you.